Okay, here we go. Here we are. Here's the next project. This is the cabin on the lake. I will be here for over a month, I'm thinking. Just in case you're wondering, yes, I do drive a GMC. Okay, so I have other cement board videos, so I'm not going to get too detailed about this, but I'm using sheetrock today. I just want to show you a little bit of how I do this. Cement board can be really brittle. What I do is I use my utility knife, and now I'm going to come real lightly. I'm barely pressing just to make a line. Now I'm going to come with my utility knife. Make sure you keep your other hand away so it doesn't slip and you cut yourself. Just score like 2-3 times, and then I just lightly snap it a little bit. Now I'm going to flip it over. You can kind of see when you bend it up where this ridge is. So just score on the back real lightly, then right down that ridge. And then you can bend it up more, really get your knife in there then. And then just any of this can just be rasped off with your utility knife. Now if you don't do it like that, sometimes what can happen just show you. If you just snap it, what can happen is you can peel away some of that. And it just makes it a pain in the butt then. Now, this is just normal sheetrock. I would recommend getting sheetrock next gen if you're going to use sheetrock. Curdy board's actually the best way to go. Okay, so a lot of cement boards are different. So some of them you cut the back side. I'm going to show you with sheetrock. You should really cut the back. Score it a couple times. Then you get a nice clean break. So that's how I do that. So make sure whatever cement board you're using that you test both. Okay, so just a little tip that I want to share with you about these water lines. You can see we got water lines coming up from the main valve here. I just drew on the wall. Another thing you can do too is just measure and then take a picture, kind of like what we're doing here with the video. And I know that line comes about 4 feet. And then I'll also go back and reference it later. If I come off this corner, you can see I'm at 14 inches, 25 inches, and then we got this one in the middle that's just kind of hanging there. And this is important not just for when you're screwing the cement board in, but also I'm going to show you later on in this series how to use a ledger board around to be able to put in a mosaic or whatever it is, some kind of a deco piece, like a band of something, glass, whatever it would be, throughout the shower. So that's why it's really important that you know where those water lines are and the studs during that process of putting those ledger boards in. So here's Brandon cutting some cement board for his shower.
What's up?
This is just a small little 3x3. You can see here that we're doing the ceiling in there too. And today we're using sheetrock on this project. And then here's a sauna we're gonna work on. Now all I'm gonna do in here is pour the floor or put a pan in here and go 4 inches up the wall with some tile, and they're gonna have wood on the walls then. We're putting pebbles on the floor. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about taping. Now, first of all, this is cement board tape. I recommend that you get cement board tape, mainly because it sticks to cement board better. But I want to show you too, it's really hard to find the end here. So what I do is I just scoot the top until I see where the seam is. There it is, right there. Then I just push it back. But it also has some other chemicals and stuff in it that are supposed to last or stop from mold and mildew. But here's an outside corner now. Outside corners are really important. You want to make sure that they're square. You can kind of see I left a gap here. So this cement board is not touching this one. That helps me keep it level, square, and not have any issues. Now, a couple things that you could do here is you could use a corner bead or you can just tape it. I'm just going to tape it. And so I'm just going to show you down here real quick what I do. I obviously start at the top, but I just run it right to the edge. And then I'll just bring it down all the way to the bottom. And then just cut it with the utility knife, or you can use a taping knife. I got a little bump there, or a screw or something. I gotta take care of that, but now I want to show you, like, here's a cross joint. You just want to make sure that you go through these, make sure there's not any uneven spots or anything. Get rid of the dust. You just want to tape these, but you're not going to put too much thin set on these cross joints because you don't want to build a hump. A lot of times I just, if there's not a big gap there, I will just use membrane. So that's how you do these kinds of joints, and then we'll go through and I'll show you how we're going to mud them. Now the corners here, the same thing. I would start at the top and I'd work my way down to the bottom. I'll just show you right here. So I just get it and I kind of split it halfway on both, and then just press in a little bit in a few spots just to get it to stick, so you can find your spot that you need to cut. You don't want it to be long. It can be a little short because your shower pan is going to come up here anyway. I just kind of feed it with my fingers. Now what I do is I just take my taping knife, just square it up. And then I'll do the other side. Go over more than once, but this cement board tape, like I said, sticks really good. You just want to make sure that you get a nice square corner. You want to do these corners here and here, and then you come and do this joint. And then just cut it. So that's how you tape. I'm not going to go any more in detail with that. I'm going to show you how to fill these joints, and then I'm going to keep going. Alright, so a couple things you want to do when you're taping these joints, and now I'm going to thin set, is you want to have a 6-inch taping knife. I also use a trowel. Now this trowel is flat on both sides, or all 4 sides really. And you can find a link to this on my website, on my tools page. I'll put a link below in the description. Here's just a normal tile trowel, so you could just use the flat side right here. And just, because I use a trowel a lot. And then make sure you have a bucket of water. A bucket of water and a sponge handy, because this can be messy. Now the other thing you want to make sure is that you clean the floor real good, because you're going to drop thin set on the floor. And you want to be able to pick it up. I kind of use both crawls here. What I like to do is I like to bring thin set up on the side. I don't mix this too wet, too thick. I want to have some consistency so it doesn't just sag. I'll just give you a quick little couple of tidbits here on the corners. So I just come down on both sides. I'd usually start at the top and work my way down. Now, what this is doing when you're filling these joints is it's going to give your cement board more strength in the corners and the joints. It moves right there right now. Tomorrow, after I mud this, tomorrow it won't do that. Now you can do this, and sometimes it takes more than one coat. Most of the time, it does take. Probably can take 2 coats. I always try to do it in one. So that's how you're going to do your corner. You're going to work it all the way down, just like that. And then kind of put your finishing touches on it. So simple enough, right? Okay. Now what I like to do with my bigger joints like this is just take my whole trawl. And butter it in. And just make sure that you rake your trawl over so you're not leaving big extra amounts. You don't want to leave extra and cause humps. I'd rather have a divot there than a hump. Because if there's a divot there, it's not going to hurt anything. You can just fill that when you're doing your tile. Now, let's talk about a cross joint. This is a cross joint, a butt joint. These are the ones that you want to be really careful not to leave too much thin set on. You just want to fill them. Because this is a spot that will cause a hump, and it'll be a pain in the butt during your tile installation. And then, obviously, I would just keep filling this joint. I'd do this corner. But I want to show you the corner here now. So you see how I taped that. Now this is just going to be coming along, filling it all in, making sure you get plenty of thin set in there. And again, I'd start at the top, usually, and work my way down. Again, you don't need to get these on the first coat. If you can't do it, then fine, you can put another coat on. Just make sure you scrape down and get it nice and flat. Now I want to talk to you about where sheetrock ends. Everybody asks me all the time, how do I blend this in? Well, I'm going to tape it, and you can see I ran my tape just a little bit past that sheetrock there. I know the lighting's kind of bad in here, and we're using my phone to film. But this sheetrock actually extends in from where the tile is going to end. The tile actually is going to end out here. I like to usually bring it about 1 inch or 2 in. The sheetrocker who did this only brought it 1 inch for me. You can see the sheetrock sticks out a little bit higher than the cement board. So what you're going to do here, why don't you swap with me? So what you're going to do here is you're going to put some thin set on the wall. And let's just start out with a small amount. And you're just going to go right past the sheetrock a little bit for now. This might be something that gets filled in a little bit more later. Now again, you just take your trowel and rake it down. You should probably only do you should try to do these in more than 1 coat. But basically you're going to come all the way down and do something like that. Now what I like to do on the second coat then is extend this out little farther to blend it in. And you can just add it. Just off a bigger band here, because once this dries tomorrow, we'll talk about this a little bit more. You want to make sure that this is going to blend in, so when you bring your tile out here, this doesn't cause problems with it sticking out farther right here than it does there, or you're not flat the whole way. So I'm gonna show you how to work this a little bit more. Now the other way that this could be done is I could have waited for the sheetrocker or the taper to come in, and he would have floated it into here for me, and then I would have just painted this with my membrane, which I'm still gonna do, but it would have been sheetrock joint compound instead. So those are some of the tidbits with taping, and then I like to come down with my sponge and get it right back to where that tape was at. So I know I'm not going past where I'm supposed to end. Okay. Now, what you can do to see where you want to end your sheetrock, if this was, you know, before you install cement board, you just want to make sure wherever you're going to end, like on this corner. Now there's a corner bead going here, and the sheetrock guy is going to finish this off for me. But just measure from the back wall to here. You see it's 55 1/4. Well, if I measure from back here, I would want to bring this in a couple inches. But you can see they only brought mine in 53 3/4, so they did give me almost 2 inches, but not quite. So that's kind of what you're looking for, is to bring this in a little farther, just to make a nice transition for you when you're doing your tile. You don't want to bring it out here. Bring it in, because you're going to waterproof this anyway, so it's going to be fine. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Joe Latender. You're watching So That's How You Do That. And remember, we can all be saved through Jesus Christ. Have a good day.